Evening, everyone. It's 5:36, and this is your closing comment for Monday, June the 5th, video number 1782. Okay, so today's market was pretty unimpressive, wasn't really much of a mover, really in either direction, but there were some fairly substantial moves. As I mentioned this morning, KKR came back in to buy Circon, take it private at 49. It actually closed the day, excuse me, um, around 47.40, which was up 50%, which is about where it was this morning, and that's about what you would expect. Apple had the Worldwide Developers Conference. That was pretty interesting. The stock got up to a new all-time high, 184.95. And then once the news was actually out, moved back down to 178 or so. Uh, Currently, it's trading around that 178 and a quarter level. That's down about $1.20 or just barely uh, 0.75%. However, there were some ride-alongs, for lack of a better way of putting it. Unity Software, who is developing software for the new headset Vision Pro, was trading in the neighborhood of 32.70 when the conference began and the announcement was made. It then rallied all the way up to 39.45. The last is 37.04. That's up 6.04 or 20%. Uh, Intel is doing a deal. Remember, they spun out Mobileye, which was a pretty decent deal. But what happened today was that Intel announced that it was doing an offering of a Mobileye B shares, which will give Mobileye absolutely nothing but some degree of dilution. So the stock, um, which was, as I said, about 42.37 and down a little, got down to 39 and a half. The last is 40.55, down 301 or 7%. Coinstar got pounded because the SEC is suing Binance for operating illegally in the U.S. and selling unregistered securities, as well as mishandling customer funds. So Bitcoin, which is the chart on the screen here, um, you know, I was looking at it as that 26 area. If you look at last night's letter, you'll see I was looking for it to hang in here and possibly move higher. I did point out this 50-week moving average, daily average, and we hit right at it before the news broke, and then we went right down and closed just below the 100-day moving average. Bitcoin was down, as you can see, 1,745, or a little over 6%, and no one escaped this. None of the little ones, Riot, Mara, none of them. They were all down. MicroStrategies, um, who has borrowed money to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and was a $1,300 stock, closed around 276 today, or it's trading around 276 today, down about $25. Coinstar, though, was the biggest in everybody's sights today. It closed 64.55 on Friday, and currently it got down as low as 55.81. Last is 58.39, down $6 and change. We had some economic news today, but the two biggest pieces were factory orders, which were slightly higher. And so that shows business is still spending money. Um, but the ISM non manufacturing, that's one of those. 50 is even, under 50 is contraction, over 50 is expansion, came in at 50.3. That was down from 52.3 consensus and estimate, and versus 51.9 last month. So it isn't in contraction, but it certainly looks like it's headed there. Also, I just want to mention SDA. This is one I warned you about last week when it went from essentially about $7.60 to 43.05 in 2.5 days. It was a new issue, a SPAC deal called Suncar Technology. And it didn't make much sense then, and it doesn't make much sense now. On Thursday, it closed at 43.31 with a new high of 45.73. Today, it's trading at 12, down 11.30 or 48.5%. But from the high at almost 46, down to 12, you're talking about a 75% decline in just 2 trading days. So, when you see those, take heed. Uh, the Dow was down just under 200. NASDAQ barely changed, down 11. Um, S&P, same situation, down 0.2% or $8. The one that got hurt the most today was the one that was up the biggest on Friday, and that was the Russell, which was up about 3.25% on Friday, and today closed down 1.32%, $24.19. So that gave back over a third of it. And the transports, which were down 160 or 1.14, which, neither here nor there. Um, Market internals 9 to 5 down on the New York, 1.6 to 1 down on the NASDAQ, and 4.3 billion shares. So we're back into the lighter volume days. Oil was pretty interesting this morning. When I gave you the pre-opening, it had opened up around 75.03 and got as high as 75.06. Unfortunately, while it closed up today, up 41 cents or a half of 1%, it did close at pretty much the low. The low was 71.73. The last is 72.15. Grains were mixed. Corn was up. Corn was down. Wheat was up. We actually are long W.W.D.C, the wheat ETF. The gold was lower but closed slightly higher. Same with silver, was much lower, closed near the high, down 11 cents. Copper was up 4 cents on the back of those factory goods orders. Um, Coffee up a little, and as I said, Bitcoin down 1,700. The dollar basically unchanged, and the bonds absolutely unchanged. All right, folks, I'll be back first thing in the morning. Hope you had a good day.